great inkjet paper, and we're also promoting our Cairns on APPA weekend away, which a few lovely people are going to win and come away to Queenstown with us this year, so that'll be exciting. I'd like to also congratulate everyone who's entered the APPAs and the portrait category, because I've had the fortune of having a look at some of the images, and going to be exciting couple of days or day of judging. So thank you very much, and thanks for the support.
Good on you, Rob. Thank you on behalf of all of us and the APPA. I'd like to say a big thank you for your sponsorship and supporting the APPA in general, and supporting our studio in the way that you have. You've bent over backwards to help us lately with some lighting, and I really appreciate that. These guys are leaders in the industry, folks. We can't do much without people like that, so give them their support and go out and see them on the stand and buy lots of stuff. And on that note, I'd also just like to acknowledge Olympus, Aeon and Panasonic being platinum sponsors of APPA, without whom we could not do this. Just reintroducing the judging panel. We'll do it in reverse order this time. They're capably assisted by Paul Atkins. Paul is also running a very fine printing lab in Adelaide. It's an 81-year-old business started by his grandfather, so I'm pretty impressed that, hey, mate, it's still going and you haven't stuffed it up. No pressure. And you use KL's products, so it's all kept in the family here. I'm Andrew Campbell. I'm your panel chairperson. I'm surrounded by talent and beauty here. Might start with the talent. So I've got Dave Landau, master photographer, aka Disco Dave. From Gippsland, I've got Jerry Jonas, grandmaster photographer and all-round Superman, all the way from the USA. I'm not saying, maybe both. Well, I've got my foot in my mouth. I'll just take a nice long walk, mate. We've got Kelly Tunney, master photographer from the ACT. Tons of fun, Kelly. We love that. We've got Poppy. We've got Grandmaster David Oliver, all the way from the Hunter Valley, mate. Yep, fantastic. Hunter Valley Chardonnay. Can't go past it. Love the stuff. I'll take that. And the delightful Kylie Lyons, master photographer and, all-round good person. To judge our work today, on the bench we have Jacinta Del Ben and Alan Moyle. So if everyone's ready, linesmen, ball boys, we're good to go? Let's have the first print, please. Thank you. Print score is a majority, silver distinction at 85. I say majority, and that 3 judges have scored at 85 or more. And just because it's done so well, we'll hear from one of those judges for a quick comment, and if it's all right with you, I'll call on Kelly Tunney.
Exquisitely, the lighting is amazing. I just love the movement. Only thing, if I can make comment to this awkward strand of hair that's just coming out, that would have actually lifted me up, just that finessing of finer details.
Very good. So we'll go to the next print now. Thank you, Kelly. Jacinta, can I step in for Jerry, please? Wombat, please. What's your problem? What's your problem? It's all right. Scores, please, team. Kylie, I don't have your score. There we are. Print scores 82. Solid silver award. Yes, let's hear from you, Alan, please.
I do love the concept, the sort of a wedding, king and queen, king's marrying the queen, which is great. I believe to take it up to a next level, look at your contrast. It's a little bit flat, especially in the faces.
Thank you, Alan. Alrighty, let's go to the next print, folks. Alrighty, this print has scored. Wait for it. Wait for it. I can tell you it's a silver. There we go. 82, silver award. Very consistent range of scoring there, with all the judges being in the silver range. Let's hear from Kylie Lyons, please.
Really nice colour palette, really nice toning. For me, if I wanted to look at going at the next step, it might need a third element, something extra to give me more information about why it's a man on a unicycle.
Can you just elaborate on the concept of a third element for the benefit of the audience?
Well, at the moment, I can see that there's two main elements. You've got a dog and you've got a man on a unicycle. And it's quite balanced, but when you have that third element, it's like another little, it's a tweak, it's a pop, it's something that gives you a little bit more information or a tug, and it gives you a triangle composition as well. So you've got that fire leading out, and if there was something else to grab me there, it would just go sing. Like I know Jerry has said this before, when the fat lady sings and goes, oh.
Lovely. Can I hear that again? One more time?
Oh.
Next print, thanks. Very consistent scoring. This print has scored an average of 79 and will be reviewed at the end of the category to see if it advances. On that note, we'll get a quick comment from Kelly Tunney.
For me, I think, interesting concept. Paper choice, especially with this sort of subject tonal range, is really, really important. It just has that sort of flat chalkiness to it. I think it just needed to match the narrative we're getting. It just needed some punch.
Thanks, Kelly. Next print, please. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go. See if it reloads the thing. It's trying. Here we go. Print scores 84, silver award. And being at a break point, it will go for review at the end of the category. However, let's have a comment on this particular print from Dave Landwehr, I think.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Just the collar, the highlight, the lacy collar is probably a tiny bit bright. I want the face to be the brightest point in this image.
Thanks, Dave. Next print. Alrighty, print score is 79, and this print will be reviewed. Just remind the judges to continue to use the full scoring range. So if you feel it's a silver, give it a silver. If you feel it's not. And this print will go for review. In the meanwhile, we'll grab a comment from Kelly, please.
For me, it was a really simple thing. I just think that consistency and that pop of red needed to come across on the right side as well. And that's a really simple thing, but we're working with not very many elements, so that would have actually probably pushed me just a couple points up.
Alrighty. Next print, please. Portrait Photographer of the Year. Okay, judges, this print scores currently silver distinction at 86. Challenging from Kylie is in the 90s. We'll accept your challenge, Kylie.
Thank you. I think this is one of those images that we really need to see big. I think there's so much detail in there that at this size we can't appreciate so much. Did everyone see the fish that's coming out of the background on the left-hand side? That really struck me. Print quality is just gorgeous. Paper choice is correct. Lighting on that mermaid model in the middle is just exquisite. The flow, the lines that are leading us up, the story that we can read into it, whatever. I'm not going to put any story on it, but we could each read into it. The detail of all the different fish and sea life that's in there. I think it's constructed very, very well. It's been very carefully considered and thought out. And it looks so realistic when we know it's a construct. I just think that the photographer knows their stuff and has just put together a beautiful image that would just work so well on a massive scale. And I had to reward it in the gold.
Thank you, Kylie. Alrighty, let's get a bit of a debate going. Kelly, you're at the other end of the scoring range at present at 78.
Yeah, Kylie, I think to address your positivity, I think for me, when you sort of said, I'm not going to address the narrative, I think that's where I admit I just completely got lost, because we have this subject that's so incredibly ethereal and beautiful, and then we have this thing going on in the background that's sort of muddy and a bit lost, and I couldn't quite work out what's going on. And I'm more than happy to hear someone's
All right, let's do that. Let's go to Jerry, please. Jerry's scored very close to the average here.
I've got to be honest. It took me a while to find Nemo, but you pointed out to us, so that has added some relevance there. I just think it's a little bit dense. I mean, I'm at 87. I think it's an incredible image. It's just a little bit dense. I'm not feeling it yet to that level. I think I need another comment to actually convince me to go at that next level. Also, what confuses me a little bit, it looks like she's wearing some kind of gown. I can see her belly button, but then I can't see her bust. That confuses me a little bit. You'd expect if I can see the belly button, now maybe that's a water pressure or something, but it looks a little bit odd. So that consistency there is confusing me a little bit.
I think Dave Lander was itching to say something in support of the print because he's given it 88.
Yes, I do love the print, but I love it because there is so much going on. There's so much story behind it, and I saw the big fish in the background at the start, and that's actually what took me from silver to silver distinction, because I actually find the print a little bit muddy. I find it's just not. I wanted more clarity. I know it's underwater, so I'm a bit forgiving. I actually am finding her chest. I can't stop looking at the brightness of her chest. I feel that's let it down, and to I'd like to go up with you, Kylie, but I'm just gold has got to, it's excellence. Like, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be memorable. We've got to remember this for the rest of our lives. And
thanks, Dave.
It's close.
Back to you, Kylie.
Okay, to address the muddiness, what I saw is we're in the deep, dark depths of the ocean. So there is a darkness there. And so I think it's actually been replicated on the paper here very, very well. There is still detail in there. I can still see into that darkness. And I guess we're talking about a mermaid kind of figure. So I had no problem with the chest and not seeing detail in the chest at all. It's because we're all leading toward the light. We're raising up. It's like Ariel going up to the surface for the very first time and wanting to be part of the human world. It's got that mystique about it, but it's actually, I think, replicating what would probably happen underwater in a photographic sense very, very well. I have to award the creativity that has been displayed here for us. So I'm in the gold. I'm asking you to come up to gold with me, and I think we should be rewarding this kind of outstanding visual piece of work.
Thank you, Kylie. Let's rescore the print, folks. Good passionate debate there, Kylie. 89. This print has not been done with yet. It will go for review. Well done. Good score. Good score. We're going to have a quick judge change. David Oliver for Alan Moyle, please. So we'll do that. And you can do that. Thank you, Poppy. We welcome back Alan Moyle, master photographer from Melbourne. Next print, please. Sorry, mate. Print score is 80, silver award. I reckon that's one that Dave Landau is going to give us a bit of a commentary about.
Yeah, beautiful image of this lovely old lady. I just find that just bring down the dog's face a little bit. I find that's a little bit too highlighty, but otherwise beautiful print.
Thanks, Dave. We'll go to the next print, please. Big shout out to all the folks up in Queensland, my former state. Jacinta, you're on the panel, please. Yep, big shout out to all the folks in Brisbane. Hope you're watching online if you're not down here. Big shout out to my friend William Long, all the way up in Yeppoon. Hope you're enjoying your time out there, William. These are the Australian Professional Photographer of the Year Awards, otherwise known as APPA. This is the Portrait Open category, brought to you by the lovely people at KL. Scores, please, team. Print score is a majority, 84. Challenging from Jerry, who's in gold at 93. Take it away, Jerry.
All right. Now, looking at it from here, we just see a group of shapes, and it's actually quite intriguing as it is. As you go closer, you see these incredible body shots that have been side-lit, split-lit, in a very textured way, all the side lighting, so increased texture, depth and dimension, all those different things. And to be honest, if you look at the images individually, they're good, but putting them together like this, they're outstanding. They're quite extraordinary. So this is something that I haven't seen before, let alone done this well.
Thank you, Jerry. Kylie, your score is a little lower than that at 82.
Yes. I just thought that less is more, because there is such beautiful images within each of those patterns there that I wanted to see more. I need to see them bigger, and I think that they're competing against each other a little bit too much. Agree that it's been done very, very well, but I just think there's just too much happening for me, and it's getting too confusing.
Jacinta, you are having a good long look at that, and your score is quite close to the average.
Yes.
Let's hear your thoughts.
So I'm sitting on 86, and I agree with both sides that have been said at the moment. The one thing that probably held me back from going up to gold is the centre image with the highlight on the gentleman's bust. I mean, that could be the centre of focus, but there's so many amazing images there. Have they done that on purpose? Because I think that's the highlight of the centrepiece, or is there another meaning behind it? If Jerry can talk to me a little bit more about that, then we go.
Right of reply, Jerry.
So we appreciate this image in many perspectives. One, as beautiful shapes, just as a graphic nature. I appreciate that independently of what it actually is. The bullseye in the middle, the aperture, whether it's a metaphor for a star sign, whether it's just a play on a photographer's take on a study of bodies as a different story. Independently, each shape is actually quite beautifully done. But if you look at it overall, every single image has that sort of a common shape, as we can see that aperture ring or that little fire sort of twisting in. Every shape is done exceptionally well. Putting them together, there's this beautiful harmony in those 9. If we had 1, we'd say it's probably not intriguing enough. If we had 2, well, evens or odds graphically. If it's 3, we're like, I don't know, there's no balance. Now we have a focus point, and every line pushes out to the outside. I think this is outstanding communication, like I said, from many perspectives.
Jerry's asking for a gold. Let's see what happens when you rescore the print. Currently a majority 84. $89. So just for the folks out there, that means that this print will get another chance at the end of the category in the other room, where another judging panel will review it on a yes or no basis if it goes up 1 point or not. So good score. Let's see what happens at the end. Next print, thanks. At this point, having had a review for a Grand Master several years ago when I needed a gold to get a Grand Master, and the print that I was waiting on was on 89. And it got up, and I could breathe again. This print has a majority 79. Kylie's going to tackle that one. Kylie, you have some support with you.
Okay.
Take it away.
Yeah, look, a very simple but well put together portrait using beautiful light, separation from the background, especially with her hair. It's just got good paper choice. It's got a lovely, sweet innocence to it, and I think it's just been handled very, very well. It's above professional standard because of the extra treatment that's been given in its printing. Silver.
Thank you, Kylie. Let's hear from Jerry.
I look at this and I say it is a good, saleable, professional image. And your last comment where you were saying, because it's print quality, I also think the print quality is also what's expected of a professional as well. So I was waiting for that little extra bite to take me over. I think it's strong. Great, beautiful, saleable, but not conducive of going up to that next range.
All right, and let's hear from Alan. Alan's popped this one just into the silver range.
Yeah, for me it was the slight change of the pose, and especially with the head being down slightly with that expression. It sort of, it brings that extra, I guess, almost solemn mood to this print. So holding the flowers, like, I can interpret some stories into this. It's a sad photo of a child, and I think that's why I really like it. I think the mood of the toning, all those purples, kind of tied all together well, and the hair not being perfect as well. I think all those sort of things bring a bit more of emotion to this, which pushes it up into the award standard.
Thank you, Alan. Kylie, right of reply.
Yeah, I think it's more than saleable, Jerry, because usually with a young girl on her own with very little props around her, Mum would probably expect something smiley, happy. It is solemn. And so because of that solemnness, the colour tone just ties it all in. The wisps of hair, the separation from the background, it ties it all in. And that's where I think it's just gone beyond that professional level. It's just tipped it over into that silver range for me. Even down to the posing of the hands. The photographer, you can see, has just really worked well to get this solemn, not moody so much, but really subtle, beautiful portrait. So that's why it's just gone over that edge for me, and I'm asking just for a silver, please.
Thanks, Kylie. Rescore the print, please, judges. Currently on 79 majority. Now has a silver at 81. Next print, please. Thanks, Dave. This print scored 80. Silver award. Dave, comments, please.
Yeah, the impact when it turned around was awesome. I'm just a little lost on the narrative, but and contrast and so on. But otherwise, yeah, good print, well deserved silver.
Thank you. Let's go to the next print. Print score is 76. Jerry, could I ask you for a comment that might assist the author here?
I don't really know if there's anything we can do specifically with those images, apart from bringing them up in a tonal range there. It's a little bit flat, certainly a bit of contrast and bringing up the midtones in certain ways. It's a very, very tough sport to photograph, so I just think that it's very well executed, but just tough to get it over the line with such chaos.
Thank you, Jerry. We'll have a quick judge change here. Kelly, thank you. We'll swap you over for Jacinta Del Ben. Welcome back to the panel. Jacinta is a fellow Victorian. And we'll go to the next print while that's happening. Thanks. Oh, Kelly. Print score is in the 80s. Here we go. 85. Solid silver distinction. Let's hear from Dave Landua. Dave, this print scored a silver distinction. Can you tell me why, for the benefit of the audience at home, what sort of things made you think it was worthy of that?
The outstanding thing for me was print quality, the amount of detail through this image. The paper choice is, I think, perfection. I don't want to finish on a negative, but I felt she was a little bit tight off to the right side there. Just a little bit more space would have been nice, but otherwise, beautiful image.
Thank you. Let's have the next print, please. Print scores 88. Challenging from, sorry, I was going to call you Disco, because you're sitting in that chair. Challenge from David Oliver, please.
You know, when you're going close, you're not disappointed. The repetition of the circles is quite fascinating, and you know, you've got this figure 8 above with more circles, and I'm trying to work it all out, but obviously it's alien, and you know, they're confronting one another, and I find it very, very powerful. It's something I haven't seen. It's taken us to a place where we haven't been, so I'm awarding this one gold for creativity. And
Jacinta, please.
Yep, I agree with you, David. I think it's exceptional. I think the handling of it is fantastic. The lighting is brilliant. The printing quality. What held me back from going to gold is trying to understand the relevance and the story to it of the repetition. So if you could help me with that, that would help me bring it up.
Kylie, I know you're dying to talk, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you at 88.
It's just got me. I'm coming to gold, and I was on the fence to start with. They're not actually facing each other. If you have a look, it's two figures. So while there's repetition, they're two individual figures, and they're women, and they've got their backs arched, and it looks like the figure on the right is actually pregnant. There's a belly there. And I didn't see that first time around. I thought it was like two aliens facing off each other, but it's not. And so, again, I don't know why we've gone down this path, but in terms of imagination, it's gone that extra level, and it's repeated, but it's not. That's clever. I don't drink coffee.
Alan, we'll have a bit more debate on this one. You're also at 88.
So yeah, I saw the pregnancy, but I didn't see the flip on the other side. And so the 8 that you see in the top is actually the symbol for infinity. And so this is kind of like a dystopian future of reproduction, and it just goes on and on and on. So I'm scared. And because of that, I will come up to gold.
All right, right of reply, Poppy.
I better not bugger it up. Yeah, I think we got. Look, it's there to see. It's an extraordinary picture, and the more we look at it, the more things we're finding. And well done, absolutely well done.
Rescore, please, folks. Currently, it's on 88. Kaboom! Gold. 93. That's pretty cool. Well done to the author. Next print, thanks. Deep breath, judges. Print score is 72. Might ask Alan for a takeaway comment for the author if they're listening or in the room.
One of the biggest things about this image, like skin texture, all that, it looks pretty good, but focus. We're not actually sharp, especially in the eyes.
Thank you, Alan. Next print, please. Thanks, David. This print has scored a majority of 79, which means it will go for a review. We'll take a comment, though, on this one from Jacinta, please.
Yeah, the one thing that held me back on this one, maybe to look at, was just the cropping on the right-hand side of the gentleman's arm, and the cloning on the right ear also is quite muddy, and a few highlights in the hand.
Thanks, Jacinta. Just be mindful of the acoustics here. They're absolutely terrible and I can't hear you. Next print, thanks. Print score is 77. Jacinta is going to challenge that. Jacinta scored this in silver.
Yeah, the moment this turnaround, it caught my attention. I see it as something very mermaid-like. I know it's swimming in the opposite direction to the left, but I enjoy it. The colour tones, printing quality, everything's in sharpness where it should be. I think it's above normal standard of work, and that it sits in the silver range. So if anyone can...
All right. You're a bit on the high diving platform on your own with this one, but that being said, we'll ask Dave Landwehr for a comment.
I enjoyed the impact as soon as it turned around, but I feel if we're going to have limbs only and no head, essentially, I want to see the arm, and I'm missing narrative a little on it as well. I believe it's sharp in all the right spots, and I can't get it to silver.
Right, a reply.
I think in regards to your arm, I'm not too worried about the arm. I'm more worried about the torso. I think that's where the main focus is here, and that's the shape of an actual movement. That's the movement. And if you look at the feet, it's even giving the look as if it's a fin at the end. So that's the storytelling to me. It's something different, and it should be rewarded as a silver.
All right, folks, let's rescore the print. Thanks, Dave. Print's gone up to 79. So it has a life. Opportunity. Next print, thanks. Print score is 78. Almost unanimous. Alan, something for the author to consider?
Composition-wise, I think it's great. The archway is placed perfectly within this frame. I think we just need a little bit more story to connect the idea of having the brain with the rest of the image, because there's a concept in there, but we just hasn't been conveyed to us as well as I'd love it to be.
Thank you, Alan. Next print and a judge change, please. Dave for Dave. I know. How are we going? Yeah, look, we were told to turn it down. Print score is 78. We will accept that score with a comment from Jacinta. You're the closest to that.
Yeah, this was close for me because I see it as something that is a great advert for maybe something of a yoga instructor or something like that. That's how I viewed it. I just wanted something else and probably a little bit, just watch in your legs there and the shadows and the flatness of it. I'd probably pick up on that and the lighting on the face.
Thank you. Next print, thanks. Guys all good out there in the audience? Having a good time? Learning something? Taking it all on board? Got your knives at the ready? I can hear the sound of blades being sharpened. Print score is 73. Ooh, Alan. Something for the author to consider?
I think we need a little bit more extra in this image to give us a bit more of a point to talk about. There's too much sort of blown out highlights and not enough real detail in those out of focus bits to draw us to the figure.
Thanks, Alan. Next print, please. It's quite striking. Alan. Print score is 84. Silver award and will be reviewed at the end. And we'll take a comment from David Oliver, please.
Beautifully posed and great presentation, good expression, maybe just a tad hot on the highlights to take it into that next level.
It's close though, isn't it? See what happens. See what happens. Next print though. There we go. Let's get those scores in, folks. Print scores 90, Gold Award. This print has scored 90. You are all four of you, three of you are have the right to challenge that score. Would you like to do that? And if you would like to do that, I would take the highest one, which would be David Oliver. And the reason I'm saying that is because just because it's got gold doesn't mean it ends there. Possibly
I
it could
agree.
go higher.
Yeah. And yes, we could pick up a few extra marks, which are really important. I'm sort of really enjoying the composition of this portrait. You know, the space below, and that sort of that leads you into this character that's having to look after all this film, and you can can imagine trying to file that lot and digitize it and whatever's going to happen to it. But then you've got this great Hollywood lighting, you know, that's fantastic. You know, the light that's skimming on the back of him, the 3-to-1 lighting ratio on his face, it's just all perfect. It's just one stunning image that's been done so well with the use of backlighting.
Let's go to the lowest score, Kelly, on this one. For your thoughts.
Look, to be honest, it was just one thing, and it was just that big light coming in on the right-hand side, which I just found a little bit distracting. And I know that sounds very pointless at this, because I really did. I've had another look as well. I mean, everything that you said is, yeah, there's something incredibly timeless about it. It is beautiful.
Given the circumstances, we'll hear from Jerry and then Kylie.
You know, there are some portraits that simply say what we look like, and there's some that say who we are. This guy has never had his turn to shine. He's obviously either a projectionist and or the guy that stores all the films. He's front and center. I love the center composition, because normally we don't like that center stage, but that's there for a reason. The negative space, that's just allowing enough space to let our eye in and him to walk to do his job. I love the posing or the lack of posing, because it looks uncomfortable being there. The lights all around him, obviously, you know, sometimes what we consider mistakes, we have to say, well, all right, things in an element and an image are either there for a reason and they tell the story. And I think that the light on the top right-hand side, that's a spotlight, but that acts as a vignette. So it keeps your eye right on the guy. So I just think it's finally, you know, we're giving this guy gold, and I'm at 92. I'll go to 95.
As soon as I hit my score of 88, I tried to backtrack because I wanted to go to gold. So to add to what else has been said is have a look at the diagonal. We've got the warm and the cool, which is really, really pleasant. He's used to being behind the camera, not in front of it, hence his awkward posing. And the kicker for me was the actual skylight in the background with all the mould and the moss on it matching him. It's just working so well, and I'll be going to 95, and I would encourage everyone to come to gold with distinction with me too.
David, we've had a lot of debate. Would you like a right of reply?
95.
Let's rescore the print. $95. No, I locked you in. Woohoo! Can we have a blank screen for 1 second, please, at the back? Thank you. Congratulations to the author. Okay, take a moment, deep breath, back in the chair. And if you're in the audience, make sure you go and have a look at that print out the back when it hangs up, because I'm sure it's well worth it. 95s, don't see too many of those, so well done. Next print, please. Print score is 77. Alan, something for the author?
There's a really great mood, tonality, and everything in this. It's just that I wish that we could get the light on the face and the expression on the face rather than just on the dress.
Thank you, sir. Next print, please. Particularly in the big categories. Print score is 73. Jacinta, something for the photographer to take on board.
I'm struggling with this one with the storytelling and also the focus point. I can't actually find a focus point in the image and the highlights on the hands.
Thank you, Jacinta. Next print, please. Print score is 79. Challenge from Jacinta. You are not alone. Take it away.
This is beautiful. Am I on? Can you hear me? Yes?
Oh.
Just need to talk like, there we go.
just pretty much put it right next to your lips.
Okay, here we go. I'm looking at this image and I'm trying to work out if it's actually the same woman in the image because we have one blonde one and we have some ladies with dark hair. First I looked at it and I thought maybe we've got 4 seasons or something in there because we've got fire and we've got earth and a bit of coolness, and winter I've got 4 tones. I couldn't really fault any image to take it into the silver range. The tonal palette to me works. It's all different. It's showing us 4 different images of a pregnant lady and that Mother Earth sort of image. Printing quality is beautiful, and I think it's above average of normal practice. I'd like
David
to hear
Oliver.
people's thoughts.
You've scored it out of silver.
Yeah, I have. And my eye just goes straight to the top right-hand shot. And I think that could have worked better maybe as a triptych with that one centered rather than having that hot image top right-hand corner. So I'm struggling with that one, but I love the other 3, and I like that top right-hand image maybe on its own, but as a combination of 4, which we've been asked to judge, struggling with that combination.
Jerry Guionis.
You said it right. I feel special. I've got to say, when I saw this, it didn't feel right when it came around, but then when I went closer, I understood the story that we're representing the 4 elements, the earth, wind, fire, and water, and all those things. I actually started to appreciate it more. And then I'm looking at this image, and again, I implore the judges to think about, can the everyday photographer do this? Is this just standard practice? I don't think it is. The imagination that's gone to it, certainly there's some issues maybe with expression, things like that. But in terms of what they've done with each image and the degree of difficulty, shooting the fire, shooting underwater is extremely difficult, and the cyclone in the back, all those kind of things, there's a certain sense of believability that may be lacking, but I do think this is, for me, just past that threshold.
Jacinta, right of reply.
I think Jerry's pretty much backed me up there and everything. I think by taking away that fire image, then you're losing that earth, fire, wind, earth image and that motherly thing. So without it, it's not going to be a complete 4. And it is above professional practice. I don't know how difficult it is to photograph underwater and with fire. And I think it's beautiful. And I would love it to get a silver.
Rescore, please, folks. Print now scores silver award at 81. Well done. That will make one happy camper. Next print, thanks. Fight passionately for the prints you believe in, folks. Alrighty. Here we go. $90. Gold. And challenged immediately. Good on you, Jerry. With your 95. I'm going to lock your score in.
Wow, what a story here. This is just incredible. Looking at it, just first of all, the colour palette is amazing. The colour palette, it just makes you empathise with what's going on. Just the colour does that to you. The empty seat next to the guy, the little boy there, perhaps mother has upped and left him. Maybe she's passed away, I'm not too sure. He's obviously smoking himself to death. Certainly under those circumstances, the little boy's torn because he thinks his dad's a legend and he's got a mug to prove that. And in one hand, he's dying to play soccer and just have some fun and be a kid, but on the other hand, he's actually taking care of his father. He's got a little picture that's been glorified above the dad that almost acts like a thinking bubble in many respects. So his dad appreciates him, but he's suffering the fate that arguably, I wouldn't say he deserves, but the fact that he's been smoking and he still smokes. And then we've got that suitcase there, which means is dad on his way out? Is the little boy on his way out? Is mum about to walk out? Not there, I'm not too sure. But all I know is it's an incredibly powerful story and something that really should be a billboard to talk about the complexities of addiction and things like that.
Kylie.
Yeah, happy to come up with you. I was at the low end at 86, obviously. But I think it's actually lit very well to direct us straight to that young boy's face. So we've got that nice direction of light that is telling the story. So happy to come with you.
David.
Yeah, really happy to go to 95 on this one. The actual dividing wall in the background with that sort of brick column coming down the middle and leaving that empty it emphasizes the empty space on the right-hand side, and it's deliberately done that way, and it's asking us questions. Who's missing? You know, and that for me takes it to a different level. The expression on the little boy is priceless. Just when you go in close and have a look, it's just so well done. Yeah, this is brilliant. This is 95.
And I don't want to put anything in your thoughts other than that 95 is not a barrier. So saying I'm going to go to a particular score is not really... Just tell us you're going to raise your score. Jerry, please. Bring it home.
Okay. I've had goosebumps for the last minute here because I walked up to the image and I noticed everything I noticed the first time. The coolest thing about this image is actually the most subtle, and that's a sunflower that's on the background. And as we know, sunflowers face the sun. It's turned right away from the direction of light and is drooping. You've also got the crack where arguably the mother and the wife used to sit. Strong metaphors and suggestions there as well. I'm held at 95. I can't go further. Is this, what else would you do with this in terms of communication, impact, print quality? There's not much more you could do with it. This is about as good as it gets, and I'm a bit ashamed that I went to 95, to be honest.
All right, folks, you are all free to rescore the print. Which now scores 96. Gold distinction. Kaboom. This room's working. Big time. Thank you. Well done. Make sure you have a good long look at that one out there, folks, so you know what gold distinction prints look like. So something to aim for yourselves, for all of us, when we enter. Next print, thanks. There is 83 silver award. You can challenge that, Jerry, if you... Oh, you are challenging that. We'll take your score of 88. Go for it.
First of all, I love the presentation, love the circular matting, and I love the fact that it's actually given a little bit of a pedestal there, which looks really, really good. I'm looking at the image. The print quality, the color palette is amazing, and certainly right inside is a little bit brighter, but I don't want you to look at that as a mistake. That's just being glorified as maybe her going down the rabbit hole. I'm not too sure what it is there, but there's certainly a narrative, but I actually like the ambiguity. And looking at the individual image, it's done well, but I think the multiplication here has actually served a greater purpose. Yeah, it's very, very strong. I'm only imploring you to come up at least a couple of points there.
Alrighty, Dave Landois. Oh, sorry. David Oliver, my bad. Sorry, I mixed up my Davids again.
Poppy and disco. It was the storyline that I struggled with. I was looking for the storyline. And the highlight in the middle, I'm trying to work out. But you're right, it's beautifully presented, beautifully lit, great expression. Duplication, I'm guessing. But yeah, I'm happy to come up into silver with you.
And now David Landois.
Yes, beautiful print. It's stunning, the colour palette, stunning. I actually do get the light in the middle. But I'm with you, Dave. I'm missing a little bit of narrative in this one. But that's why I went to silver, to reward colour palette, beautiful printing, and a gorgeous image of a girl. But to go to silver distinction, I still need a little more.
Well, I think Jerry's there, ready to do it. Go for it, Matt.
Here's the thing: as judges and anyone who has an opinion about an image, we often look at a portrait. It should say something about someone, and sometimes we reward ambiguity, and sometimes we reward being very obvious. I think in this case, everything in an image should help contribute to the message that we're trying to convey. This is soft. There is a bit of mystery there with the multiplication, all that kind of thing. So really, if it was obvious, we would be saying it's too obvious. It's dreamlike. It's a little kid dreaming about something. And the fact that it looks like the Earth or a globe, and what does a young girl dream about and think about? And like I said, the fact that there's 3 there, it's very aesthetically pleasing, let alone symbolic in many different ways.
Thank you, folks. Thanks, Jerry. Rescore the print, please. It's currently on 83. And by majority, it is now a silver distinction at 85. Well done. We'll have a quick judge change. Kylie, you've been there an awfully long time, according to our thinger. Yeah, you're doing very well. We'll bring Kelly on board. Just sit tight on the bench for us, Kylie, if you wouldn't mind. Next print, please. Oh, you've done that. Thank you. This print scores an average of 79. I don't think it's going to stay there if David Oliver has anything to do with it. He's quick off the mark with his silver distinction.
Yeah, this is it's a really awkward composition, which is challenging, but it's beautifully lit. When it first came round, I wondered what in heaven's name is this, and then when you go in and you see the awkwardness of these arms, and you want to know more about this person. And it's one of those pictures that is challenging us, where it's asking questions, and I don't know the answer, but it's that's what I'm enjoying. The tension in the hand, the tension in the body, is the subject's sort of, and you look at his body and the veins and so forth. It really is quite an interesting picture.
Yeah, Alan, let's hear from you, please. You're scored a bit lower than that.
So when I sort of, again, going up, loved all the things that you were sort of saying, but then there's quite a lot of tonality blocking in there, as in there's large chunks of the same tone, which to me says the image has possibly been worked a bit too much to actually, and so I believe there's a processing error in here that means the tones have all just blocked together. So there's just large chunks of tones with not a lot of stepping in between them or graduation, and so for me that's why I had to keep it down.
Okay. Now, Jacinta, you're right on the average there.
Yeah, I was close. Same as Alan. I struggled with the arm on the right-hand side with the technical difficulties with the tonal range. I found it a little bit flat, and so we've got flat, and then we've got a texture that's gone over to over the skin, is what I can see. I'm trying to find relevance with that texture, along with the relevance with the flatness of the right arm, and trying to link the two together.
Okay. So, David, you've got some support there, and see what happens if you.
See what happens. Look, I'm looking at the emotion of this image. There's so much there. There's a storyline there that is difficult to understand. I think it's the highlights are meant to be where they are. You know, the strength is in the arms, the hands, the composition. I'd love to see this get silver at least.
All right, folks, let's rescore, please. The silver tongue, hey? 81 silver award. Nicely done, sir. Next print, please. Yeah, at the request of one of the judges, the category preamble for portraiture photography, which is broadly defined and can include family portraiture, corporate, travel, creative and interpretive portraits. Entries into the portrait category will be judged broadly based on content, impact and professional quality. The judges will be asked to consider portrait in its broadest context. Entries into this category may be commissioned or self-commissioned. Kelly, thank you. Well, this could be interesting. This print is currently a silver distinction, but we have 2 judges in gold. And in fairness to the print, I'm going to take the highest scoring judge, which is you, Kelly, for the challenge, and lock your score in at 91.
Thank you. Okay, gold award to me. I've been in a position to be able to talk to a number of awards, images, I should say, over the years, and that's something that those images have always stuck with me.
We could just contain the remarks to this print.
I'm just trying to say that gold images should be remembered, and this one will be quite memorable for me. Look, we have been given very few elements. This playful, we have this circle of life, I feel, and we have we're sort of carried through from the tree, and I'm actually very stuck at the moment.
Okay, I will keep your score there. That's fine, no problem. I'm going to hear from Jerry if that's okay.
That would be great. Thank you.
No worries.
Look, I gave it a 90. I know your struggle. I'm looking at this, and for what's in front of me, I think it's just flawless. I can't really see any mistakes in here. Obviously, it's very abstract, so it's not really meant to make sense. This is one of those images that just gives me a strong feeling. Now, what feeling is that? I don't know. It's just makes me feel good. I can't really explain it. This is one where the emotional content of it has really outweighed anything else that might be wrong with it. Like I said, it's flawless, but it gives me a very strong feeling. Is it outstanding? Is it different to what we've seen before? No question, in my opinion.
Alan, your score's a bit lower than the average.
Yeah, I've put it into the silver range because I recognise the technique going into this, but at the moment, I haven't actually been brought up at all by anyone's comments so far. From what I can see, I can't get any emotion from this apart from confusion. Is it supposed to be happy? Then why is everything leaving? And the coolness overall does not lead me to kind of a warm, kind of like a happy kind of thing, like the colour I should be seeing in the little flotation ring makes me feel like I should be feeling happy, but at the moment, I'm going to need a lot of help to come anywhere out of silver.
Let's call on Kylie. Kylie's had a good long think about this print.
Look, it's confusing because it's so minimal in its elements, and I guess I'm questioning technique on the perfection of the cycle and the dog. The photographic quality of those 2 elements leave me questioning the image. So, but in terms of a graphic image, in terms of things asking questions, it's successful in that aspect. What the narrative is where the question lies. And again, I come back, we don't have any titles to help us, and so we have to make our own minds up, and we're all sitting here going, I can't pick that story for myself, so I need someone else to do it for me. But in terms of the actual print quality, it's flawless in that respect.
Thanks, Kylie. Let's go back to you, Kelly, now.
Really do apologise for not giving it due justice. I think I'm going to really try again. I think I agree so much with Jerry in that I do feel like my heart is moving, and I don't actually need to necessarily come up with my own narrative. And I think if we're confused by it, that is not necessarily the worst thing in the world, because we don't have a lot to work with. But for me, I see really this playfulness, and I think that maybe the woman on the bike has had a day at the pool, and I mean, I don't really mind. I don't really necessarily think that, you know, I can pinpoint exactly what the bird is doing there and what the dog is doing there for you. For me, it's joyful and happy, and I think it's a piece of art. It's fine art, and I don't need to really come up with the most perfect narrative as to why she's on a bike. It's quite simply that's why it's working for me.
That's well said. You don't have to interpret it. You just have to judge it, which I'm going to ask you to do now. Print is a gold at 90. Thanks, team. Thanks, Kylie. Back in the seat. Thanks, Jacinta. Going to move things along a little bit now, if that's okay, due to time frames. So, next print, please. Print score is 83. Silver award. And we'll take a comment from David Oliver on that one, please. Takeaway for the author?
Beautiful lighting. You know, to handle the makeup and to light the subject that way, it's just done really, really well.
Absolutely right. Next print, thanks. I think we'll just make the comment short and sharp. Print score is 73. Jerry, something brief for the author?
So I love the use of ordinary materials for the shot. Certainly with that kind of choice and with the makeup choice, I feel like the expression just needs a bit more drama.
Here, here. Next print, thanks. Print score is 78. Challenge from Jerry. Jerry's a little bit higher than that. He's at 85. You're on your own there, Jerry, by the way.
I know, it's okay. Well, here's the thing. I was either going to go 85 or potentially, meet the judges where they've gone to. And I started looking at it. And I'm like, well, there's some obvious flaws here. why is she off center? Why is she sort of wilting? Why is she drooping? Why don't we see the baby? It almost feels like this was meant to be a glamorous portrait of the mother, but we've got this big baby, you know, feeding, and she's trying to look glamorous, but she's just not quite there. But I actually think when I look at this, it's a real portrait. It's raw. It's real. It was meant to be something. It didn't quite get there, but the awkward posing, the fact that it's off center and things are not quite right, and the fact that the baby's big and we don't see the face, I just think that that's part of the story. And again, think of it like this is just trying to be glamorous, but it's just not. We like to think we are, but we're not.
Kelly.
Yeah, I think I went to the latter end of just the eyes lost it for me. I just felt like, yeah, she didn't want to be there, and yeah, she had the makeup done and had the glitter in the eyebrows and all sorts of things. I couldn't get past that. I suppose it's a very flat print. That depth between the subject and the background was just really lost as well. So that's why, yeah, let it down at 75.
I'm going to go straight back to you, Jerry.
So it's for those very reasons that I think it actually helps the print, because you've got the flatness, the lack of expression. Again, this is just, you don't put this on the wall because it's just not, we don't want to look unflattering or anything like that, but it's real, it's raw. Is this, I think it's very purposeful what's been done here, or at the very least, the direction changed from the photographer to make it look glamorous and all perfect to a real raw portrait that is deliberately awkward.
This print's currently scoring 78. I'll ask you to rescore, please. Print now scores 79. There you go. Nearly there. It ain't over till it's over. Alrighty, we'll have a quick judge change. We might bring... sorry. I'll just get this right in a minute. Alan, for Dave, please. And we'll go to the next print, please. Thank you, sir. Print score is 82, and that means I'm just trying to decide if that's an automatic challenge or if it's an elective challenge, but it hasn't flashed up with the auto button. Hang on, it says waiting on automatic challenge. What does that mean?
So auto supersedes it, right? So it's an auto.
I think it's an auto.
10 points, yeah.
10 points. So that means that you get no right of reply, but you do get to speak first. So... No, you get to speak first because you trigger the challenge. No, it's first.
Auto challenge.
Yeah.
So is the high score last?
No, so the person that triggers the challenge, which is David Oliver, is invited to speak first, and then we can work out the lowest to the highest on the panel.
There you go.
Okay. This picture is like stiff upper lip English gentleman walking through the park with his setter. And each picture is exquisite, beautifully handled, beautifully printed, beautifully composed. And you've got to think it's like he's purposely stiff. And look at the picture on the right with the dog and the legs in line with the gentleman with the right leg. It's just beautifully done. And then the question is, why is he sitting on the floor on the left-hand side? Why is he slightly bigger? These are all questions that we're challenged with. But yeah, I think this is a really interesting picture. I'd like to hear some more debate on this one.
Two things specifically. I love this timeless sort of feel to it, and I think the black and white treatment is not as good as I would like, but specifically the fine details in the handling of that umbrella on the left, that really heavy burning in around it. It's got a full edge of burning in that you can see almost from here, actually. So technique in that, but then the last frame, it's just that separation between the subject and the umbrella is just too cramped in. We've got this beautifully composed image in the middle, which I really love. I love it. I do enjoy it as a set, but I feel like that last one doesn't have that depth that perhaps the other two does have. But yeah, specifically those techniques, they really need addressing.
Jerry, please.
I give it an 82. I'm struggling to go upwards here. I think that obviously it's, man's best friend. They've got each other's backs. They're going to conquer the world together. They're going to go for a walk. And so the narrative is quite there and clear and obvious. I look at it now in terms of a graphic. I feel that the left image is zoomed up a little bit too close. I feel like either A, the proportion of them should be the same all up, or if we're trying to go for that middle one being a little bit more dominant and then the triangular sort of overall composition, I feel that left image should be a similar proportion to the one on the right-hand side. It just feels a little bit too close for me.
Thank you, team. Now, this is an automatic challenge. You are all free to rescore the print. Please do so. Print's gone up to 84. So, once again, it's on a break point and it will be reviewed for a possible distinction. Next print, thanks. All right, get some scores in there for me. Thank you very much, judges. This print scores 79 and will be reviewed. We'll take a brief comment, though, on this one from Jacinta, please.
Yeah, just one thing to look at is that centre image, the space between the little girl's top of her head and the line going through, and the softness of the overall image.
Thank you. Next print, please. All right, guys, let your fingers do the talking, please. Not happy, Jan. All right, this print has scored a solid silver at 83. Almost unanimously. Brief comment, Dave Landua. Is it Landua or Landua?
Landua.
Landua. Yeah, thank you.
Beautiful print. Love the colours, the use of colour in this. Just it lifts it right up. I'm probably a little missing on narrative, but that's just me personally. But gorgeous print, well-deserved silver.
Thank you. Next print, please. No. He's just going to the toilet. He'll be right back. Hope so, because... Print score is 82. Silver award. Kylie.
I'm sure this is a fascinating character. I would have liked to seen that piano accordion actually being moved, or it just looks like it's sitting there. Could have had a bit more life.
Next print, thanks. Print score is 84. Solid silver award. And will be reviewed as well. Comment from... Oh, yes, go on then. Yes, comment from Kelly.
I would have actually scored it into silver distinction range. I just felt like the lighting, especially on the face, just needed that real, just that oomph, that boost. It would have helped.
Thanks, Kelly. Next print, please. So if you're listening in Melbourne today and it's a beautiful sunny Saturday afternoon, well, if it is or it isn't, it doesn't matter because you need to be here. Come on down to Melbourne Park. Melbourne Park is where it's at, folks. Kylie will give you a free dance lesson and you'll get to see the rest of the print judging. It's on all this weekend and it's free and it's amazing and it just doesn't get better than this. Come on down, support our sponsors and... come on down to Melbourne Park. Never mind the footy. The footy's boring. Come to this instead. That's all right. This printer scored 84. Silver award. Jerry, challenge? Yes. Jerry's given this one a gold.
So just to clear up any misconceptions here, and again, this is an assumption, but I want to make it just on behalf of the audience listening at home and also in the room. Pre-wedding photography, obviously not photographed on the wedding day, should be included in the portrait category. The fact that this, I forget the actual lens that does this, it's more than the fisheye, I think, I forget what the mill is, but I think it's actually used perfectly. I've seen a lot of shots done with this lens, but I love the fact that we're using it in this kind of a way. I love the harmony of the elephants. I'm assuming it's done in India. The little highlight that gives it contrast between the black suit and the white dress on the top there is great too. I think it's just exceptional. It's just done extremely well. And not only that, I'm assuming maybe a couple of you might be thinking, well, what about the background? And if that background was completely flat all the way from the perimeter of the shape, you would just say it looks too artificial. Now, certainly it's abstract, but I think that glow is actually necessary. It almost feels like the atmosphere in some respect, but this is outstanding. No doubt about it.
Kelly.
Okay. Agree with some of your things, some not so much, but again, what it comes down to is like we have a subject looking at the couple specifically. It's just that stagnant stand. You know, they're so tiny, you know, and I really would like to see more of that. While I can appreciate everything else and the design of it and the concept, I would be happy to go up a couple of points, but just that sheer size and lack of, they're just standing there holding hands, and it's very hard to see them.
Jacinta, your score is very reflective of the average.
Yeah, I'm in the silver with distinction range, and I think I'm quite comfortable with it sitting there. I guess I was looking more for the story of, I know obviously they've been married or getting married, are married from India, but a little bit more other than, as Kelly mentioned, just the standing still position, and just the light following all the evenness around this white circle on the inner circle. I struggled with a little bit.
Thank you. Back to you, Matt.
So what I noticed when I went up there again, I love the guy leading the elephant. There's actually a different expression and different stance on him every single time. So it's actually not been just mirrored 4 times or 3 times above the first one. As far as the pose is concerned, what we have to understand, when you've got a couple really far away, we've all seen the big landscape and little people. If someone's small, what you don't get in the facial expression, you must get in a more pronounced way when they're further away. The fact that they have air between them actually gives us more emotive content if they were kissing, because you wouldn't be able to see the face at all. So the fact that there's a little bit of air, like I said, posing done from far away needs to be more pronounced. So that air around them, I think, is actually necessary. Is this outstanding? Is this exceptional? I believe it is.
Thank you, Jerry. Folks, the Prince currently on 84. I'll ask you to rescore. And it now scores 87. Very solid silver distinction. Well done. Next print, thanks. Yeah. Please. Thank you. Print score is 86. Very solid silver distinction. Take a comment from you, Kelly, please.
It's beautiful. I know I'm not meant to say that, but it's just so delicate. I'm just not quite sure what I can suggest to have lifted it up to gold.
Sometimes you don't have to. We just acknowledge that it's beautiful.
Just acknowledge its beauty, its colour palette, the lighting, the pose. Stunning.
That's sometimes all you need to do is just tell the folks at home, this is a great print, this is why. Thank you, well done. Next print, please.
No, stay on there. Can you stay on?
Alan, you're still there. Quick as you can, please, team. Print score is 82. We'll accept that score and we'll ask for a comment from David Oliver, please.
The Tree of Life, it's quite interesting and hard to follow the story. Which way do you go around the tree? But no, I found it quite interesting. Happy to see it go to silver.
Next print, please. Thank you, David. All right. We have got scores coming in thick and fast. Print scores 83. Silver award. Alan Moyle. Something for the author.
Really great Christmas, great lighting exposure, everything in here. I think maybe a little bit more contrast could have popped this up to a next level just to bring out a little bit more of the textures.
Thank you, Alan. Is it just me, or does that look like Peter Dinklage to you? Cousin. Next print, thanks. $77. Brief comment from Kelly Tunney on this one, please.
Probably just a great concept. Probably just a little bit hot for me, and just that really overbearing saturated colours. Tone down that a little bit would have helped.
So by hot, you mean bright?
Overexposed, correct.
Overexposed, thank you.
Tech.
Next print, please. Thank you, judges. Print score is majority, silver distinction at 85. With a comment, please, from Dave Landwer. You're very close to 85.
This is beautiful. There's story all through this. I really enjoyed this print.
Thank you, Dave. Next print, please. Alan. Thanks, mate. Print score is 78. We'll lock that score in, and we'll take a comment from David Oliver, please.
Yes, so I'm left wondering why the half black and white, half colour composition. Compositionally, it works, but I'm still asking a question.
Thank you. Next print, thanks. Print score is a majority, 85, silver with distinction. Which elicit a comment from Jerry Jonas on this one, please.
What a lovely portrait. Just beautiful, very dignified, very strong. Love the dog there, and I love that the fact that the palette is just totally open. Perhaps her best work is behind her. She's just trying to keep relevant. It could be something totally different, but it's a gorgeous narrative. It's beautiful.
Thank you, Jerry. Well done to the author. Next print, please. Thank you, David. Print score is 75. We'll grab a comment on this one from Dave Landauer, please.
Beautiful colours. Love the colours. I'm a little lost with the narrative, but a beautiful colour.
Thank you. Next print, please. Kylie, you're up. I'm sort of pushing him. So I think he's doing all right. I think he's doing all right. Print score is 83, Silver Award. So no one's able to challenge that score, but we can take a comment from David Oliver on this one, please.
Yeah, really enjoyed this image. I'm trying to work it out. But you just, when you look at it from a distance, it's beautiful, and you're not disappointed when you go in close and have a look. So it's beautifully printed.
Thank you, David. Next print, please. Let's let those fingers dance. Thank you very much. Print scores 81, Silver Award. Kelly Tunney, something for the author?
Yeah, interesting concept. I would have loved to have seen a little bit more of that child's face. There's this hair just covering that. Just even a teensy little bit of the eye would have really helped.
Okay. We'll accept that and go to the next print. Thank you. Alrighty, thank you, judges. This print has scored 78. Fairly consistent scoring there, so we'll ask for a comment from Alan Moyle, please.
So, great textures and color palette and all those sort of things. I feel like composition-wise, we're a bit too centered, and on the left, that purple is sort of really drawing us away. and I'd probably want to have more of it if her gaze is looking that way.
Thank you, Alan. Judges, that's the end of the category. We will need you for reviews. I think that's happening fairly quickly. Because I think the catering people and so forth need us to get lunch happening fairly quickly as well. So don't go changing. Just like to thank our judges for all their hard work effort that they've put in today. Everyone's a volunteer here. You got to want to do it if you're going to come all the way from across the world to join us here in Melbourne, mate. But we also have judges from New Zealand who've been joining us this weekend as well. Other overseas judges from Tasmania. It's all good. Sure. So if you're listening on Livestream or if you're in the audience, we're about to commence what we call a review. And the reviews are prints that have been judged in one of the other two rooms. And they've ended up on what we call a break point. So 79, 84, 89, 94, 99 perhaps. And simply what's going to happen is the print's going to be turned around as usual. The judges can vote with their cards yes or no. Majority wins. So if 3 judges elect with a yes, that means that print will go up to the next scoring range, which will lock in its new score. If, however, the 3 judges or 4 judges or even 5 judges say no, then the print will remain with the score it's got. So that's how the review process works. And we're about to start that as soon as we get the nod. So, be good to go? All right, let's go. Yep, go. Okay, judges, first print is coming up. This print is currently 84. Just be mindful that there are people behind you who may not be able to see. So, this print remains at 84. Next print, please. Okay, this print has also scored 84. Is this now a silver distinction? It remains at 84. Thank you. Next print, please. Sorry, Jerry, just ask you to move just a little bit to one side, just so the folks behind you can see. This print has scored 79. Is this a silver? It remains at 79. Next print, please. Next print when you're ready, folks. Thank you. Alrighty, this print has scored 84. Is this a distinction? It is a distinction. Well done. Next print, thanks. This print has scored, sorry, David, can't see. This print has scored 84. Is this a distinction? It is a distinction. Well done. Next print, please. Next print when you're ready, guys. Alrighty. This print has scored 79. Is this a silver? It is a silver. Woohoo! Somebody out there can breathe again. Next print, please. All right, this print has scored 84. Is this a silver distinction? It remains at 84. Thank you. Next print, please. Sorry, guys, we're going a little too fast. They're working as hard as they can out there. This one has scored 79. Is this a silver? It is, in fact, a silver. Well done. Next print at your convenience, please. All right, this one scored 79 as well. So is this a silver? Yes, it is. Silver award. Well done. All righty. Next print, please. Okay, this print has scored 79. Is this a silver? Print is now a silver award. Well done. Well done indeed. Next print, thanks. All right, this print has currently scored 84. Is this a silver distinction? It absolutely is. Well done. They can breathe again as well. All righty, next print, please. This print has scored, take a moment on this one, guys. This print has scored 89. Is this a gold?
Oh, yeah.
It certainly is by 5 judges. What were they thinking in the other room, eh? What were they thinking? That's the gold. Next print, thanks. Okay. This print has scored 84. Sorry, David. Need to see the print. So it's this print has scored 84. It is now scoring 85. Silver distinction. Next print, thanks. All right. This print has scored 79. Is this a silver? Yes, it is, unanimously. Well done. Next print, thanks. All right, this print has scored 79. Is this a silver? Print remains at 79. Next print, thanks. Okay, this print has scored 84. Is this a distinction? It is a distinction, silver distinction. Well done. Next print, please. Alrighty, this print has scored 84 as well. Is this going up? It is going up. Silver distinction. Well done, guys. Thank you, judges. We would like to thank Alan Moyle, Kelly Tunney, David Oliver, Jerry Jonas, Jacinta Delben, Dave Landua, Kylie Lyons, Kylie Lyons, Kylie Lyons, Paul Atkins, and all the lovely people out the back who are doing such a great job for us. This is Andrew Campbell signing off. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Last print it went up, didn't it, Andrew?